Hi everyone! I wanted to make a quick little video on how we set up in an empty indoor space. This is an older setup video that I found, but we still do a lot of the same things, and I really still do like the look of it. I'll explain along the way what we stopped using and why. I'll also have a new video soon on our most recent setup and a similar setting for you to see and compare. So usually our Gridwalls comes with screws that attach the legs onto the sides. We honestly stopped using them after 3 events because they just took too long to put on. Instead, you can usually use small zip ties that will go through the screw hole. And you'll need around 4 zip ties for each leg to make sure they're really secure. And then the ties can then be easily snapped off with small pliers at the end. But for those environmentally conscious people like me who can't stand trashing zip ties for each event, we found reusable versions. They can usually last 10 to 20 uses, which is pretty good. But the ones we found were pretty wide, so we had to attach them in an odd figure 8 way to each leg to make sure they don't slip up. If people are interested, I can make a video on that later on, but I'll definitely put a link in the description to where you can find and buy these reusable zip ties for yourself because they're actually pretty handy to have around. So this is the point in the video where you see me moving the photo display around a lot. I even stopped the video at one point and continued it later because I had to take a moment to think about and walk around the booth to really figure out the best way to do it. Usually we put it in the back and attach it to the side of the 4 Gridwalls, but our shirts have become our best seller at this particular event, so we wanted them to be seen more clearly. We also have vendors on either side of us, and I was afraid that their booth setup might end up being pretty tall, which did end up being the case. So I was honestly really happy with the decision to put it in the front, and I think it was a big contributor in our increased sales for this event. We do around 3 to 4 OC night markets a year, so it's always fun to see how different setups affect that particular weekend. This is actually the old way we hung our shirts. We had 7 designs at this point in time, but currently at the end of 2019, we have a total of 12 now. Hanging them like this actually wastes a lot of space and takes a little longer than we would like. We also sell out of sizes quickly at shows, so sometimes we have to pull down displays to sell the ones that we're hanging, which is a pain in this setup. Nowadays, we use foldable hangers that you can see in our next video. They can fold to 1/3 of the size of normal hangers and are a little smaller when expanded. The ones we got were from Taiwan, but there's a lot of American versions you can find on Amazon under foldable hangers. The OC night market is, as it sounds, mostly at night. It starts around 4 p.m. and ends at midnight, so you're in the dark most of the time. There are small lights in this indoor space, but the ceilings are extremely high, so it doesn't really help much. Electricity is included with your space anyway, so it doesn't hurt to bring your own lights. We'll bring around 4 to 6 lights for these kind of events. If you're not sure if your events has lights or they do claim to have them, it's always safer to bring your own because you never know where the lights are or how bright they will be. Mostly if they provide electricity with their booth package, it's likely they have a reason for offering it. My mom's the one currently helping me. She usually helps me set up and vend at all my events now, so she's pretty well versed in how our setup goes. It's extremely helpful to have her help putting everything up in these larger 10x10 spaces. Our 10x10 setups usually takes around 2 to 3 hours to complete with 2 people. We can sometimes set up faster depending on what we need for that particular show. Lights, for example, take a long time with all the cords that need to be pulled and organized. We also stopped bringing most of our Gridwalls to a lot of these shows because we didn't sell that many prints anymore, and they were just a huge pain to put up, move, and took a lot of space in my car. So most of the time we'll set up all at once, but in this video I actually forgot a few components and decided to finish the next day, which was the first day of the event. That's probably why you'll see our neighbors suddenly pop up next to us. We used to display our prints in frames, but we quickly stopped doing that also. These were just leftover ones we're trying to get rid of. We just didn't have the space for them anymore, and they were a huge pain to bring around. For sunny outdoor events, the backings also started getting worked pretty badly. Although they did look nicer, we really didn't notice a difference in sales. People actually started assuming that frames came with the print, which it didn't. Even with a bunch of signs up, we would still get that question a lot. We also don't sell prints anymore, so it's likely one of the last times you'll see our print wall. I also wanted to mention that this particular space is a little odd. It's at the Orange County Fairgrounds inside their pavilion. I technically consider it indoors because we don't need to bring a tent and we have really good structure over our head. However, it's important to note that there are openings at both ends. kind of like a tunnel. Because of this, we can get a lot of wind coming through here. Not sure if you can see, but we bring sandbags with us to this event to weigh down our photo display and the grid walls in the back. It's really important to consider wind at your events. We've had a lot of sad moments of displays getting blown over, destroyed, and pretty much terrifying situations. Even with some indoor events, large doors can create gusts of unexpected wind. Nowadays, we have windproof stands and other measures to ensure that things don't go flying and are really safe to keep up. That's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this was helpful and interesting. If you have any suggestions or improvements, comments, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. I would love to hear what you guys think. See you next time!